pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
What? Did I mess up? Oh. The meeting will please come to order. We do have proof of public in accordance with Chapter 551. The Texas Government Code is amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. And members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 5 minutes. If there are none, we'll go to item number 1, which is burn ban.
No action.
No action. Item number 2, budget transfers and amendments.
I make a motion to approve budget transfers and amendments.
Second.
Thanks. This last one is where we're, budget amendment, is where we are doing transfer so we can pay for the skid steer. We did get the due invoice in for what they had ordered.
For the trailer.
This is for the little slide in.
Slide.
It's for the deal. It's for-
Yeah.
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 That's what I thought it was.
Yes, it is, but I'm saying, we also have just gotten the invoice for the due.
Oh, did they send 3?
Due or Streetman?
Was it street?
The air packs?
Because I talked to Dew and told them
Let me get
that
that.
we needed 3 quotes.
What are they, what are they want?
It was some of the tools, the hydraulic power tools. That was the big thing. There was a couple of smaller things in
From your
there.
jaws a lot of stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Tool.
I think they've got them now battery operated that can have the same amount of force, but you don't have the hoses to drag, and it's not as heavy of a deal. So you can get the same performance, and it's a lot easier to get down if the car's down in the ditches.
Over there. I'm ashamed to say I've never witnessed.
Yeah. And I talked to Butler too.
I don't even know what, this newest hydraulic cylinder.
Right. On Butler's request for that compressed air foam unit, they don't need the whole unit. Their unit's fine. It's just-
Streetman, yeah. For
They said
the
that
air packs.
It's
Air
almost
packs,
by
yeah.
a pump than it is to send the unit off and get it tested.
And there's a purchase order
So they're
already
not
for
asking
that.
for the whole thing, it's just a pump. So it's gonna
This is
be less
6,
money.
I'm sorry. This is 6 units. At Streetman, 6 units.
6 air packs, that's right.
Okay.
And there's a purchase order for it. We've already got it, it's out, the money's in the line item.
Okay,
So we'll just pay it.
happy days, okay. All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 3 is contract for services between Freestone County and the water co-ops. You each have a copy? You have a copy? Okay. where it says number 1, right before that says, the parties agree as follows: provider will provide potable water properties located in the unincorporated areas of Freestone County. County agrees to pay the provider the amount of $50,000 to be used for addressing those emergency situations. And then, that's the main thing. Is that the kind, that's the wording that we want to have, and what do we want to request for any kind of backup or verification? I think we talked about it at the last meeting, not just saying it directly had to be paid on a generator, because it'd be hard to track it.
What I was telling Andy the other day is if we had language in there that said that it was to pay for any unfunded mandate imposed on the water company by the TCEQ.
Okay.
What emergency situation says cover the whole lot,
Yeah, that,
but it won't cover that.
if they got the generators covered already, and they wanna upgrade something, that wouldn't be, that might tie their hands with that language in there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like on a line extension.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, we've already spent 78,000, so what we had planned is just reimbursing.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all
what we
is
had
done,
already spent.
but some of those companies, as far as I know, we've got a couple of them that don't even know they're getting this, do they?
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't, Point Enterprise, I was just waiting until the dust cleared before I contacted them. I wasn't gonna.
Not pump them up and then
Now,
not.
Donnie I've been in contact with Donnie all this time,
Yes.
because he's been under the gun. 'Cause
Yeah, they need it,
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt.
Judge Grant, I would word it to, because there's a lot of emergency situations in the water field, outside of the weather-related, which is what this came from, you know, from the 21 storm? So I would make sure there was some language in there that stated it had to go along with the mandates, like you
You think so?
mentioned, because there are a lot of, I mean, you can have a well go down and that's considered an emergency.
Yeah.
You know, it could just stop working in one day, and we consider that an emergency, because water can't be pumped. So you wanna make sure that if you're wanting it to go for weather-related and the things that the mandate's coming from, you probably wanna word that in there correctly.
I think that was the issue, that maybe, for one thing, how are we gonna track it, that same $50,000 went to the generator or went to whatever other projects that you're doing?
We have a separate fund that we keep those monies in that are not in our operating account. And all that money for reserves and everything sits in one place. And we only pull out of that fund when the board votes to pull out of that fund. Otherwise, it comes out of
I'm not
operating.
sure all of them are set up like that.
Right.
It's almost there.
Well, hey, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Whatever wording that y'all use, we'll just need to have the backup for whatever.
All right, now give me the
Receive
wording
or
that you
something?
want for that, that's what we're. part of
Well,
what
I
we're
mean,
talking about.
it just depends. If you want the unfunded mandate, if you want that wording in there, then we would need to have receipts showing what they spent the money on. Or if it's emergency situations, then it just depends on how the court votes.
I understand, but once you get it, the money in that fund, it's hard to, if you have more money than 50,000 in there, it's hard to track it, our specific 50, you know,
Right,
just talking.
right. So,
But we ask the fire force, we give them money, we ask them to track how they spend that money.
How they spend their money, and
Yeah.
so what they give us is just a financial statement.
How they,
And see that all the money that they spent was spent correctly.
Right.
Because we can't track our 10,000 either, directly to where that 10 went. So would you be satisfied just to see like a financial statement showing what expenditures there were?
or even for like the fire departments, they even just give, because it's in their contract, a list of the expenses, if they
Yes.
didn't wanna provide the whole thing, just operating expenses for the year.
Okay.
You don't think something like that would be a quick, we could track it?
Without,
Okay.
you're complicated to do.
Is that, ma'am, I mean, is that good with y'all? Would it be good, something y'all could do?
I do financial statements every month for our board, so other water companies don't even,
Well, some of them, when we ask for a list of expenditures, they write it out on paper,
Right.
and that's fine too, as long as the board signs it, that that's what they've done.
I would make sure everything is approved by their board.
Yeah. And two, some of them may not be spent this year, you know, that, some of them won't get contracts with
Some of them may
it.
not have a
Yeah.
board either.
I was gonna say,
It
does
could be
every,
a year to a
Is
year.
every, is every water department required to have a board?
It depends on their structure, whether they're a water supply corporation, if they're a nonprofit, or if they're individually owned. It depends on
They're
their.
nonprofit, I was thinking that one.
I would, on a nonprofit,
Because
yes.
they have to, they would have to file a tax return, a 990.
Yeah, that's what we file.
Mhm.
But I know there's some that have had boards in the past that don't now, and I don't know if they changed their structure along the way,
Mhm.
or if
They
they
just stopped.
just
Mhm.
stopped.
Mhm.
Who would know that, TECQ or whatever?
No, it'd
No.
be PUC,
PU,
Public Utility Commission. But water supply corporations, it's a little tricky with PUC, because water supply corporations don't fall completely under PUC.
Mhm.
They recommend that we follow all of their guidelines, and we do at our size. A lot of your smaller water supply corporations don't have the funding to do all of that, so they don't really follow their guidelines to a T. They should, if they want to stay out of trouble, because if a customer ever complains, they go to PUC, and PUC is still gonna go to the water supply, but they just can't enforce it quite like they can if you're a SUD or a MUD or a municipality that falls completely under the PUC. Which, there's a whole lot more to it than that, but that's
I
a,
understand, in TECQ, aren't they, they're hiring a bunch of new employees too, aren't they?
yes, they already have this year. We're hearing from them regularly instead of at inspection time every 30 years.
How about furnished list of expenditures for the year the funds are spent? Or
that's good with the outside auditors.
which is why we're asking for some things, just for money for the auditors, I know,
So we leave this like it is and then add that to
add
it?
that to it. Or additionally, it says, file required reports with TCEQ and other agencies in a timely manner. So if something is amiss, hopefully TCEQ might see that too, but, and y'all are gonna do that anyway, so that's not
TCEQ
an
basically
issue.
is what governs how we do the water,
Yeah.
and how we treat the water, and how we get the water to the customers. PUC governs the billing side and the administrative side.
But
That's
the
your split
The
between them.
TCEQ is going to also, look at what they require,
Yes.
so that would cover.
Yes,
some.
TCEQ is the one that approves our EPP plan, the emergency preparedness plan that we had to do, and the generators, and anything, any change we make in the system.
Do they give you some, Crystal, showing you are in compliance with that rule?
I have not yet. We submitted our application, we went forward with our application because we knew we had to have that or our plan. And I filed an extension in July, they approved the extension, but they still haven't approved the plan. And I had to notify them when it was complete, so I don't know if that was about the time they were hiring all the people. So I don't know if we got approved and they just didn't send us anything, because they approved our extension, so. TCEQ's kind of, it's hard to get documents out of. So we're hoping we don't have to add another one. But we did file the grant for the grant to help with 5 more if we can get that grant.
Anything else on that? We'll change what we've talked about and just a little wording on this other, just to be clear, clarify it a little bit. And then we'll get these all signed and bring them back for approval by Commissioners Court, and after that, then we'll do the funding. Not anything else on that, we're going to item number 4, amendments to the special road use agreement contract. We're gonna make a couple of changes. I'll talk about that. At the top where it says for oil and gas companies, I believe operators, we're gonna just mark that off and leave the heading the same. But then we are gonna go down to number 3. It says applicants' vehicles, add in, or its subcontractors' vehicles or machinery.
We kind of addressed that in the last sentence of paragraph 1. But it's because it says servants or independent contractors in the course of the applicant's business.
Vehicles means any vehicle with labels. Applicant or its agents, employees, servants, or independent contractors in the course of the applicant's business.
But can we not add it in again down here? I think it covers us a little bit better.
Well, that's the definition of vehicles. Okay. Yes, we can add that in here too. And the same thing,
We added in on 3 already,
On the corrected version.
on the correct,
On the handwritten.
not the correct, okay, correct. It's added in on 3, and it's also added in on page 2 at the top.
okay, I was looking at the old one.
Look at the top, subcontract damage.
You can add, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it
Or
need to be added anywhere
subcontractors'
else?
vehicles or machinery, whether described in this permit or not, and agrees to know. Rather than just say, or subcontractors, say, or its agents, employees, servants, or independent contractors. Is that what you want me to put the whole thing down there?
We don't have subcontractor.
Yes, but you want to put all of that in there too.
No, I think
Agents,
it's fine up
employees,
there.
servants, or independent contractors or subcontractors.
Yeah.
We might as well put it in both places.
Okay.
We might have changed it.
Now, are you satisfied with the weights? Vehicles?
30 and 10, yeah.
Greater than 30. It's 30 for the vehicle and 10 on the axle. Also put all that same language in that.
Well, I don't know if that's the right place to put it though. That's my fault. 'Cause
That's okay, I'll read it, kind of move it around a little bit.
I think it needs to go right here on the last line between vehicles and over. And not up here at the top.
Does, is there terminology we can put in here to where this transfers to?
Successor.
Successors or signs, I don't know if that be a valid, I don't know.
You can put language in there that the,
I mean, we can work
this,
this, as often as they change, we can work this, trying to contact even,
this permit holder, we could put that they're responsible for notifying
Yeah.
how you
Well,
gonna.
first of all, we can't force them on anybody to sign this in.
No, you can't. If they won't sign, we'd have to get a certified wait person to
Right.
come and wait.
Right. I mean, we've got,
We have options.
We've got options
If
if
they
we
want to.
want to play that way.
Yeah.
If they're in violation of the permit, looks like we have, you get an injunction to keep them from using any roads in the county.
Sure.
put the hammer on.
Obvious, knowing if it's changed operators, maybe we could put in here that,
I mean, this agreement,
You
these,
could put successors or signs in there.
something that's like prior to terminating a current bond, road bond, you must notify the county of your.
They can't terminate the bond, so can they? That's what I don't understand, they call all the time.
Or they run
Wanting
out.
us to release,
Or they run out.
but then when they sell the company, we don't ever hear nothing. How'd that bond get released?
If they don't they have to pay a bond every year for keeping it on the road? Or a certain length of time, the bond is usually for, whether it's a year or 5 years or something. And if they don't renew, well then, there we are.
Yeah, because that one that you and I looked at, that was Baker Hughes, showed the surety bond on the back, it did have an expiration date.
right,
There's no way for us to know when that bond runs out. I mean, they can put it on there for a year, and then next year they don't have to re-up it. They don't have to renew it. So then we're sitting here with a road that doesn't have a bond.
Sitting there with a bunch of them right now, behind the bond.
sure is.
99% of them.
And they're not gonna run up here and tell us if they sold. And it also, you know, we just hear it through the grapevine to Legacy, and then hear it through the grapevine, Legacy to Diversified.
Yeah, they sold some to, Burke Royalty, ended up some of Legacy and
I've
Dark.
got stuff, and sent through.
Yeah.
One company
How
was using
about-
Clarion.
How about we said something about if you sell, then damages, to the road prior, during, we're still liable for them. Okay, let me get some other language for it, okay? I know we could hold them, if, when they sell, if there's damage, we still could sue them for that if we knew, but a lot of times we don't know, so, okay. We're gonna put this on the next agenda. What else do you need addressed?
If someone is asking to get a road use permit, should we make them wait until this one's corrected?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Can we change the top of this? We've got this pipeline company, Antlos, is coming through from Grovebeck all the way to Bethel. and it doesn't say pipeline up here at the top, and now they're, redoing the 138 line from, partially from Trinidad to Hewitt, and from the substation north of town over to the power plant, to the new substation.
Okay, I think
We
we have a
actually
separate
have-
pipeline.
We have a separate one for
Yeah,
pipeline.
that's
I'll
a
make
separate
that what you look at.
agreement for pipelines.
Well, we need to add,
Let's look at it the next time too.
we need to add our situation on the subcontractor stuff, if it's not in there.
Okay.
Yep, that's right.
We'll put a copy in your box so you can look at it before next
Okay.
commissioners meeting. We, that's the bad. Okay. All right.
Good.
Anything else? Any comments?
That motion we adjourn.
Second.